Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Stamp with Julie Baum and I'm Julie. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this very beautiful fall card. Now I want to tell you a couple things before we jump in. Number one, below this video there's a description box, and in that box there you'll find lots of helpful information. You'll find a current host code. You'll also find a link to my website, stampwithjuliebaum.com, and there at the website you will find the list of dimensions used for this particular project. Now, today's card was one that we made at Stamp Club this past week, and I wanted to share it with you here on YouTube. So to start with, I have a thick piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I have already stamped one of the leaves on the inside of the card. I'm going to be stamping some leaves here with you so you'll see how I got that look. But there's our card base. Then I have another piece of very vanilla. This is the regular weight cardstock, so not the thick. And this piece has already been sent through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder. Now, when you use a 3D embossing folder, be sure to use the correct layers on your sandwich, because you're going to use different ones than you would if you were die cutting. So this is a lovely piece. I'm very happy with how it looks. It is called Distressed Tile, and you can see why. There's a couple little areas that you might think did not take well, but that's exactly how it was intended. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach this piece to the front of our card, and you could do that with your Stampin' Seal, or I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue, although I want to say that I'm going to be kind of strategic with where I put this glue, because this is so textured. Often I would even reach for my Terran tape, but I just want to make sure that I get enough of my liquid glue. Okay, this one has been sitting and is now going to give me an on-camera problem. Let me make sure it's working before I get a big glob. Okay. So as I was starting to say, with the embossing folder, because that has some of that nice thick texture, it can be a little bit tricky to get that piece of paper to stick to another piece of paper. And so sometimes I would reach for my Terran tape, but I'm going to go ahead and put some on here. I'm going to try to put it near some of those areas of this that I'm sure will make contact with the paper. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is going to go on the front like so. I have my microphone cord hanging here right in the way today. I don't know why that's happening. Let me see if I can loop that up and out of the way a little bit. Okay, the next thing we are going to need are our leaves. So I'm going to do the leaf stamping on a scrap of white. If you have vanilla, go ahead and use vanilla. I was running really short on vanilla, and because these are going to get cut out, not much of the white is going to show. So we're doing our cutouts on white cardstock. All right, I'm going to do 3 leaves. This first one is with crushed curry. And I wanted to show you that when the leaf is stamped, it has beautiful detail and shading to it already. It has a light and dark built right into the design of the stamp. It's just beautiful. All right, then I'm going to do a second leaf. This one is with Cajun Craze. You can see here, I must have done one as well. You can see that die cut there. And then the third is with Cherry Cobbler. All right, so there's our nice fall colors. Now, the color that I used to do a little bit of detail on here is Copper Clay. And so I'll show you what happens when I put these little veins to the leaves. Now on the cherry cobbler, it doesn't show up real dark. You'll see it better on the other two colors, but it does give a little bit of definition here inside the leaves. Let's do this one also with copper clay. Okay, we're doing all of the veins with copper clay. And there's that one. That's quite beautiful. And then on the crushed curry one, you'll see as well. All right, so there we have it. Now, what I did is I pulled out the coordinating dies, which, by the way, this is the stamp set, Autumn Leaves, and there are a set of coordinating dies. And so what I did is I matched up the dies with the shapes and ran those through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut them out. So to save a little bit of up and down and time, I have pre-cut those for you. And we're going to go ahead and be able to get them ready to go on the card. Now, we do actually need 3 more leaves, and these are going to be cut simply from cardstock without stamping. Okay, so this is the general direction where we're headed. Then we're going to cut 3 more leaves, and I am going to show you that. Let me grab that cardstock. All right, we're going to use cherry cobbler. And pumpkin pie. And crushed curry. So what I did is I just reached inside my cardstock stash for some scraps, as you can see. All right, and then the dies to cut these 3 out. There's this shape and this one and one of these. So I'm going to run those now through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'll be right back with those die cuts. Okay. Let me bring in those 3 leaves now, and we can go on to the next step. So as you can see, I have my pumpkin pie one here. Here's the crushed curry, and where is the cherry cobbler one? Let's see if it stayed behind on the platform. Oh, yes, it did. All right, there it is. Oh my goodness, it looks like it got the edge of it cut off. That's okay. We're strategically going to place this, so we're not even going to worry about that. I don't want to take the time to do it over again. All right, so let's go ahead and put those into place. And the key thing about this is you do want to put your adhesive of choice. Glue dots would be a great choice too. Just kind of in the center of the elements That way, as you are laying these down, should you decide to tuck anything under, you've got free edges that you will be able to do that. Okay, so I've got that one. Same thing, I'm just going to kind of put my adhesive in the center of this leaf, like so, and the majority in the center of that big leaf. And this one is going to get tucked in like so. Okay, now we're going to use these three to kind of fill in. And because I have the little edge of that that did not come out correctly from when I did the die cut, I'm going to go ahead and strategically place that one. Let's see where I want to put that. Okay, I think I'll just tuck it up there. My other choice is that would be okay too. Let's go with that. All right, and I am having to stick this down because of that texture. Let me show you what it would be like with glue dots, because that's also a really good choice. Okay, so then I'm just going to put a couple glue dots on the back of this red leaf. I think I'll use 3. All right, and then I'm just deciding. I think it was best over here. Now, if you didn't cut the edge off of your leaf in a funny way, you would not have to worry about placement. But you know, it's just going to be one of those videos. Okay, we've got control of that again. All right, moving forward, let's add this one. And I'm going to probably tuck it in over here. So you can kind of determine the placement of yours based on the design that you like. All right, here's the pumpkin pie colored one. And then this last one. Okay, sorry about that little mishap, but it's just fine. Okay, now we've got all of our little leaves in place. Now, I had another piece of vanilla cardstock, just a scrap. I went ahead and embossed the words onto this piece, and then I ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with a die to cut it out. So this is the piece that we're going to use. Now let me mention something about the embossing. You have probably learned previously how to do the embossing. You do need an ink that will allow you to do heat embossing. So in this case, I used a Versamark. Now this was kind of funny because I pulled out an old pot of embossing powder. You can see at some point I thought it was gold and changed my mind. I marked bronze because I really don't think that it's copper. Now, bronze is not a color that we offer right now, and actually I wish this was copper. So lucky for you, right now, if you buy the 3-pack of embossing powders, you can get gold, silver, and copper would be lovely. All right, so on the back of my words, I'm going to put a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. I'll use 3. We also have a choice at this point because we're going to add this little piece of ribbon, and this ribbon is really beautiful. It's part of a combo. There is a wider kind of a natural weave ribbon that comes along with this copper ribbon. So I have a piece here, and here are the choices. Some of the gals at Club preferred this. Go ahead and attach it to the tag. You can see that, and then you can put the tag on. Or let me show you another way. because I know that that makes sense to you already. Let me show you another option, and that's to just take a small piece of your tear and tape. I'm going to lay my ribbon here on the card, right where I want it, and I'm going to double check by bringing my words in. My words are going to kind of go like that. See, I want a little above and a little below. Then with my tear and tape, I can actually just tape it to the card. Nobody's going to see this. So it's kind of a little sneaky way to do it. Now you can leave the adhesive backing on there if you want. It doesn't really matter. Or you can peel it off if you for sure don't want anybody to see that there's tape under there. So in this case, let's do that. But that tear and tape is holding my ribbon in place. Now it's going to get camouflaged with the words, and 3 Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of that will hold nicely. Okay, so this is going to cover up that tape. It's partly on my leaves and in place. All right, super, super cute. Now, as I mentioned, I already did 1 leaf on the inside. This one was the crushed curry, and again with the copper clay for the veins. There you have that. And then to give it a little bit of embellishment, I chose the adhesive backed sparkle gems, which I think they look like black, white, and gold. I'm not sure if that's the exact description in the catalog. Another choice would be these. These are the adhesive backed speckled dots. But as of the time of this recording, these are already sold out and they will not be back for a couple of weeks. So let's proceed with this first choice anyway. And I'm going to just use 2. Usually I use 3 of an embellishment, but I'm just going to put a small one here on the tag and a large one over here on the leaf, just to add a little extra attention. That sparkle and shine looks really nice. And there we have our distressed tile autumn card, and it says "with a grateful heart." So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I would love to see what you do once you've watched this and been inspired. And a great way to share your projects with me is over on my Facebook channel. You can find me by my name, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I do have a group there that you can request to join, and then you can share your projects with the rest of us as well, and that would be really fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy stamping!